I met Justin during character camp when I first came in as a freshman.
I've gotten to know him better since probably my junior year when I first did character camp in the fall.
We met Justin when we first came in for character camp, our freshman semester.
I worked 6 weeks in Barrett Hall.
The first time I met him was when I came in for character camp, so that had been about 3 years now or so.
When I really started to get to know him a little bit better was when I started going to Chi Alpha my first semester, fall of 2017.
Going back into character camp and coming to Barrett, I actually had the opportunity to get a lot more fellowship with Justin Sharp.
I can look back and see how Justin has impacted my life and how I've grown at CFO.
If he's having a conversation with you or whenever he's teaching at Chi Alpha, he can just jump back and forth between making it engaging and funny and adding in his unique personality, as well as taking that same scenario and then turning right around and seeing the spiritual side of it as well. So he has such a good balance of that.
Justin Sharp is one of the most hospitable people I've ever met in my life.
He is constantly just seeking to serve others.
He's always been a really vulnerable person, and to some extent he wears his heart on his sleeve, but he also knows how to wear his heart on his sleeve. He doesn't necessarily just, leave his emotions and feelings unchecked, but he's willing to tap into that and he's willing to express that. And I think it's helped people connect with him really well just from the get-go.
He's very understanding. It seems like whatever situation I would ever come and talk to him about, he's able to just listen, and I know that he cares about me.
For men these days, they kind of hide the fact that they have problems. They hide the fact that they're human and they need help, and they have a story to tell. And the fact that Justin is really, really good about just being real with you, saying this is what I've gone through, and because of that, I understand what you're going through. And because of that, I can walk with you through your problems and help you through what I might have gone through.
One thing that Justin is continually telling me is that he's proud of me and the man who I am.
He's always said, I'm proud of you. Yes, it is hard. Yes, there are challenges to it, but you can do it. You've done a great job so far, and I'm proud of you and the man that you are and are growing to be.
I think with any interaction with Justin you have is you just get this sense that he believes in you, which is super helpful, especially going into character camp and even just life in general.
When he says it, there's such intentionality and love within it, and I can just tell that he is so genuine when he says that, and that he really is proud of me.
Something he said one time is, don't be an inch deep but a mile wide in things, and that just shows it was a good teaching on how to be committed to something and not just a little bit here and there and just kind of spreading yourself too thin, but then not really committing to something. And so that kind of stuck with me, and just that visual of not being an inch deep but a mile wide in things, but really just focusing in on what things are important to you and then having your priorities straight. And he's always set a great example of that.
At FIA, the Festival of Interpretive Arts, Justin was the host, and he just came up, was wearing this weird thrift store type robe, and then was just very funny and kind of crazy. And then the next day he shared his life story and really shared his testimony, which is very serious, his background and everything. And when he shared his life story, his testimony, it was you could just kind of feel the Holy Spirit kind of speaking through him in his heart, and he was just very vulnerable. And me, it was really cool to see kind of two different extremes, it's so close together. And I just remember leaving character camp thinking, okay, I don't know exactly who that guy is or where he works, but I'd like to get to know him.
One of my favorite stories that Justin has told was when he was an RA in the basement of Youngman. And so he had some new residents come in, and he hadn't had an official interaction with them yet. But and so he decided he'd do something a little bit different to introduce himself. So he was aware that the residents had an airsoft gun in the room, which was permitted at that time of the school. And so he decided to take off his shirt and walk in there and go up to one of the guys and tell him, if you're a real man, you'll shoot me. Or shoot me if you're a real man. And so as soon as he does that, the guy he's talking to is very confused, like, what, are you crazy? And then the other roommate looks out from his laptop at his desk, like the confused look as well. Then Justin repeats it again, shoot me if you're a real man. And so the guy takes his airsoft pistol or gun and puts it up to Justin's chest, and his hand is shaking as he does this because he's like, why do you want me to do this? And so Justin says it again, shoot me if you're a man. And so the resident's like, okay. And so he shoots him, and then Justin's like, okay, you're a man. Then he holds his cool and walks out of the room. But as soon as he gets to his own room, he screams in agony from the welt that the gun made.
Whenever Justin would speak and would share and preach, he'd be very funny, a lot of fun to listen to. But at the same time, you could tell that he, first off, knew what he was talking about and was very passionate about what he was talking about, and that his heart was really for us, for the students.
Justin Sharp has an ability to communicate and bring the scriptures to life in a way that I have not experienced with anyone else.
He has just been such a blessing and inspiration to me, and helping shape me as a man of God.
So words of encouragement, right?
What would you tell yourself in this scenario, Justin? Because he is a great encourager, as you said, 3 out of 3 people have said so far.
But I know that he is going to do incredible and that he is already doing incredible.
I just want to say thank you for the man that you are.
Justin, you are one of the greatest men that I've gotten the honor and privilege to get to know.
Please do not change who you are. I mean, since you are such a humbling person and such an encouraging person, the fact that you are in this position is because of that.
Taking on a new role can sometimes feel like taking on a new identity or a new just personhood, but I know that the Justin that I know is a very consistent and reliable person, and just because you're in a new role doesn't mean that you're necessarily a new person. The Christ that we see in you and the Christ that you follow is still the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so in the same way, we know that you're the same person, and you may have a new role on campus, but in our lives and in other people's lives, you're still the same. You're still a mentor, you're still a friend.
You are continually displaying Christ's love, and it is so evident that the Holy Spirit is within you and is continually flowing out of you.
I think that he is going to thrive in this position, and even if he comes across any kind of struggle or obstacle that he's facing, I know that he and his family, him and Sarah, are going to be able to get through that because I know that they trust in the Lord in everything they do, and they've done that just in being so courageous and taking on this position. And so I'm confident that he's going to do an incredible job, and even when he doesn't, he's still going to bounce back in just monumental ways.
This is a new season, and I am so excited for what God is going to do through you and your family on campus in this new chapter of your ministry on campus.
You're still an encourager, you're still somebody who makes us laugh, somebody who makes us think, somebody who is always just there for you, a presence, and available to help us be better people.
So I just want to say thank you for your pursuit of Christ, because that has impacted so many people.